Hey everyone, today we're going to be solving some random questions from 2.8 product rule from Flip Math. You can take this video as a reference whenever you're revising for this lesson. So yeah, let's get started. We're going to start with number 3. It's basically 4 square root of x multiplied by ln x. This is basically a very basic application of product rule. So we know that the rule for product rule is going to be u prime v plus u v prime. Now, u prime is basically the derivative of u. Now remember that u, which is 4 square root of x, can be seen as 4x to the power of half. And the derivative of such function, the half is going to go down, so 4 times half is going to be 2, x to the power of minus half. And 2x to the power of minus half is basically equal to 2 over square root of x. So u prime over here is going to be 2 over square root of x multiplied by v, which is ln x, plus u, which is 4 square root of x. And your v prime is basically 1 over x. And this is basically how you solve this question over here. I wouldn't advise you to simplify further than this, because if there was a question after this question, like for example, find h prime of 3 or h prime of 1, it's easier for you to put it on a calculator when it's very compact. Now, moving on. So we're going to move on to number 6. So number 6, very simple. Also, same exact technique. So h prime of x. Now, the derivative of u over here is going to remain the same because the derivative of e to the power of x is e to the power of x. So this is going to be my u prime, v plus u. Now, v prime, x to the power of 2 is going to be 2x, and x is going to be 1. Now, over here, the simplification, you might not see it, but basically you can take 2e to the power of x as a common factor. So basically 2e to the power of x, and then the remaining pieces are going to be 1 over here and 1 over here. So you can just write it as x to the power of 2 plus x plus 2x plus 1. Also, you can like combine 2x with x, so you're going to get 3x in the middle. Now, you might want to see if x to the power of 2 plus 3x plus 1 can be simplified, but this is basically like as simple as you want it to be. Because again, if they wanted you to find, like for example, h prime of 3 or h prime of 4, it's easier for you to have it in this form rather than another form. Moving on to number 8, we got 3 over x multiplied by ln x. Now, this is going to be my u and this is going to be my v. Now, 3 over x can be seen as 3 multiplied by x to the power of minus 1. And the derivative of such function, the minus 1 is going to go down. So minus 1 times 3 is going to be minus 3x to the power of minus 2, which is essentially minus 3 over x to the power of 2. So now, applying my product rule, u prime is going to be minus 3 over x to the power of 2. So this is my g prime of x. V is going to be ln x plus u, which is 3 over x multiplied by v prime, which is basically 1 over x. Oh, made a mistake. Oh no, never mind. So 3 over x is over here. So u prime v plus u v prime. Now, the only possible simplification you can do over here is basically moving the minus from over here to the ln. It's possible to do it that way. So 3 over x to the power of 2 multiplied by minus ln x plus 3 over x to the power of 2, because these two x's are going to multiply each other. Now, over here, you can notice that you can literally take 3 over x to the power of 2 as a common factor. So your final simplified answer will be 3 over x to the power of 2. Now, what are the two pieces that you're going to take? You're going to take minus ln x, and then you're going to take over here as 1, because it's literally the same as the common factor you've taken out. So it will be minus ln x plus 1. A very simple way for you to know that your factorization was correct is by trying to distribute again the 3 over x to the power of 2 back in its place. So 3 over x to the power of 2 multiplied by minus ln x is going to give you this piece. And 3 over x to the power of 2 multiplied by 1 is going to give you back this piece. So this is how you know your factorization is correct. Now moving on to a different skill. Our second skill is basically finding the equation of the tangent line at a given x value. So for number 14, we got 8 sine x cosine x at x is equal to pi over 3. Now, since they gave you x is equal to pi over 3, this is your indication that you need to use radian angles. So f prime of x, it is going to be u prime v plus uv prime. So u, I'm going to take it as all of 8 sine x, and cosine x is going to be my v. So u prime, it is going to be 8 cosine x, v is going to be cosine x, plus u, which is 8 sine x, and v prime, it's going to be minus sine x. So just using distribution, cosine x multiplied by cosine x, it will be 8 cosine to the power of 2x, minus, because we have a minus sign over here, 8 sine squared x. Now, we need to recall the equation of the tangent, which is basically y minus y of a equals y prime of a x minus a. Now, y of a, in this case, is going to be y of pi over 3. And y prime of a, it is going to be y prime of pi over 3. So, of course, over here, we're going to refer to it as f of x because y of pi over 3 is essentially f of pi over 3. So the first thing that you guys have to do is basically you have to find f of pi over 3. So we're going to do it over here. F of pi over 3, it is going to be 8 sine pi over 3 multiplied by cosine pi over 3. Now, of course, you can do it on a calculator. Again, you have to make sure your calculators are in radians to do so. So sine pi over 3 is going to be square root of 3 over 2. And cosine pi over 3 is going to be 1 over 2. So it is going to be 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. One of the 2's is going to be 1. So it will be 4 square root of 3 over 2, which is going to be 2 square root of 3. Now, we're going to do the same exact thing, but for f prime. Now, as an identity, you can literally plug it in, by the way. Like, you can literally plug pi over 3 over here, and you would get the answer. But over here, I'm going to take 8 as a common factor, and it's going to be cosine squared x minus sine squared x. Now, according to an identity, a trigonometric identity, cosine squared x minus sine squared x is essentially cosine 2x. You're not supposed to know this all of the time. Some books, they don't teach this. So, but the more you know, like, the easier it will become. Cosine squared x minus sine squared x is cosine 2x. So now, f prime of pi over 3, it is going to be 8 cosine 2 pi over 3, which is basically going to be minus 4. Again, do it on a calculator if it's easier for you, by all means. So now we have our values. So y minus y of a, which is in this case 2 square root of 3, is equal to negative 4 x minus pi over 3. So now fixing the shape of this function, you're going to get y equals negative 4x plus 4 pi over 3 plus 2 square root of 3. So this is in the form of mx plus b. Of course, you can add these pieces on a calculator. They will give you like a decimal point or a simplified fraction if you want. but this is essentially the equation of the tangent for this question. Now, you can see it like all of the answer over here. If you want to pause the video, just check the steps again. You are able to do so. Now, in number 15, they have g of x is equal to negative 2x e to the power of x. So this is going to be my u, and this is going to be my v. So g prime of x, it is going to be u prime, which is going to be negative 2 e to the power of x plus negative 2x e to the power of x. Now, if you want to take it as a common factor, you can take e to the power of x as a common factor. So you're going to be left up with negative 2, negative 2x. Now, again, the equation of the tangent is y minus y of a equals y prime of a x minus a. And lucky for us over here, like the x that they gave us is basically 0, so it's very easy for us to find out the values of such points. So now g of 0 is going to be 0, and g prime of 0, it is basically e to the power of 0, negative 2, negative 0. So 1 multiplied by negative 2, which is going to be negative 2. So now coming back to the equation, I need to plug in my numbers. So y minus 0 equals negative 2, x minus 0. So you're going to get y equals negative 2x. This is going to be my final equation tangent. Now, as a bonus question, there is number 19 over here, which is a conceptual question, which is basically like they're testing your knowledge about what is a derivative. So it's very important to note over here that a derivative decides if the function is moving up or moving down. So in other words, basically derivatives decide if the motion of the function is upwards or downwards. So in this question, they want me to see which of the following statements is true about h prime of 3, given that h of x is basically f of x multiplied by g of x. Now, of course, we don't have the equation of the functions for us to know precisely what is the value of h prime of 3. But if you look at the possible options over here, we got h prime of 3 is negative, h prime of 3 is equal to 0, h prime of 3 is positive, h prime of 3 is undefined. So let's think about it a little bit over here. First of all, since f of x is multiplied by g of x, then the derivative of h of x is supposed to be according to the product rule. So h prime of x, it's going to be u prime, which is f prime of x in this case, multiplied by v plus u v prime. Now, applying 3 to the following equation, you're going to get h prime of 3 is f prime of 3 multiplied by g of 3 plus f of 3 multiplied by g prime of 3. Now, f prime of 3, although I don't have the value, but I know for sure that f on this point over here, it's basically 0. And 0 is considered one of the positive numbers over here. So f prime of 3, sorry, I just messed up over here. At the point x is equal to 3, you can see that the function is moving down. So since it's moving down, that means f prime of 3 is going to be negative because of the motion of the function. It's moving downwards. That means f prime is going to be negative. And similarly over here, since f prime is moving upwards, that means, since f is moving upwards, that means f prime is positive. So basically f prime of 3 over here is going to be negative. G of 3, I already have it, which is basically negative 1. So it's also going to be a negative number. Now, f of 3 is literally 0. So basically, you're going to be left up with two negative numbers multiplying each other, which is going to give you a positive value. Now, which one of these options tell us that h prime of 3 is a positive value? It is C. So remember, Whenever the function is moving down, that means its derivative is negative. So g prime over here is negative. And whenever the function is moving up, that means g prime, it's going to be positive. But what happens at this particular point over here? That means g prime is equal to 0. Similarly, over here, it basically means that f prime is equal to 0. At these 2 points over here, we call them critical points or turning points. Or also we call them the points where we have horizontal tangent. And with that, guys, we conclude our session for today. Be sure that I'm going to upload another video for packet 2.9 and packet 3.1. So yeah, watch out for those videos, and again, use them as reference for revising. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. Thanks.